Did you know that most people spend around 7 hours creating a 5-minute YouTube video? That's a significant amount of time. But what if you didn't have to spend that long creating content? I mean, think about how easier that would make things for your business. Well, in this video, I'll show you the process we follow for repurposing our blog posts into YouTube videos. And this process saves us anywhere between 3 and 5 hours of work for every 5 minutes of video. And all you need is a blog post to repurpose and a content editor like Google Docs or Word. Alright, let's go over the process. Okay, this process is very straightforward. All you have to do is break the blog post down into sections. Script your YouTube video, review and update your content, record your video, edit your content, export and review your video, write your metadata, publish your content. There are 8 steps in total. It feels like a lot, right? But in our experience, this is the best way to ensure the quality of the video. Now, if you feel like a step isn't completely necessary or could be improved, feel free to change it. Alright, let's kick things off by breaking the blog post down into sections. To show you what the process looks like, I'll repurpose our blog post about the benefits of blogging for business. We'll publish this video on our channel, so if you want to watch it, we'll leave the link in the description and in the pinned comment. Okay, start by identifying the different sections of your blog posts. In my case, I have an introduction, a list of key takeaways, a description of what business blogging is, the actual benefits of blogging for business, a conclusion, and then some frequently asked questions. Now, something important to mention is that you don't have to use all the information from your blog posts. What you need to do is identify the most important parts and think about the best ways to present that information. For our video, I'll use our introduction, our list of key takeaways, the benefits of blogging for business, and our conclusion. I won't need anything else, but that doesn't mean we can't use the rest of the information for our other videos. So, if you have more content, consider repurposing it into more videos or social media posts. Perfect. Now that we have the content we'll use, we need to think about how we'll present the information. Here's the structure I'll use for our video. First, we start with the hook, then the list of benefits, then the key takeaways, next a conclusion, and lastly, a call to action to watch more content. Alright, before we continue, a quick shout out to our sponsor, The Marketing Project. The Marketing Project is a digital marketing agency that specializes in Q&A marketing. So, if you're interested in repurposing your blog posts, videos, and podcasts, check us out. We turn your existing content into more blog posts, email newsletters, and social media posts. If you're interested, the link's in the description. Now, let's go back to the video. Okay, now that we have a general idea of what the video will look like, we need to script our content. First, think about your hook. The hook is essentially the reason why people should pay attention to what you're talking about, and why they should keep watching. Now, depending on the way you wrote the introduction to your blog post, you may be able to use a similar approach for your video. For example, in my case, I wrote about how some of the biggest challenges businesses face are lead generation and selling. And then I connected the initial idea to the solution I found, which is blogging. Now, in hindsight, this introduction is not great, so I will rewrite it, but I'll keep the general idea of addressing challenges and the solution I found. And once you're done with your introduction, move on to the main content. This is the part where you'll use most of your existing content as is. Now, if you did a good job and wrote your blog post in a conversational tone, it should be easy to copy, paste, and rephrase some sentences so they flow better when you read them out loud. Just take your time and think about how to do it so each sentence flows naturally and ideas connect well. And lastly, write your conclusion. One really good way to do it is to summarize your main points or highlight something important for the viewer to take away. Also, if you think it makes sense and flows well, you can reuse your existing conclusion to save even more time. And once you're done scripting your video, take a break. Relax and come back to it with fresh eyes. If you start reviewing your content as soon as you finish scripting your video, you likely miss mistakes and overlook better ways to phrase things. When we're tired, we get tunnel vision, so it's best to leave it for the next day or send it to someone else on your team for feedback. A key tip I can give you is when you review your content, read it aloud. This makes it easier to spot awkward phrases and improve them. And when you finish reviewing your content, it's time to record. Something I like doing is reading my script a couple of times before recording to get familiar with what I want to say and how I want to say it. Sometimes I skip these steps and I end up making a lot of mistakes, like mispronouncing words or just not liking how I say things. And this ends up in us spending a lot of time editing. So just practice a bit before recording, and I guarantee you it makes a huge difference. All right, at this stage, you should be able to edit your content fairly quickly. So if you took the time to practice your script, you should be able to do it without much trouble. Just edit your content as you normally would and export your video draft. I say video draft because even though we do our best to create the final version of our video, sometimes there are issues we don't catch right away. And that's where the next stage comes in. Review your content. Make sure all the grammar is correct in your titles and lower thirds, and check for artifacts. This isn't something that happens all the time, but sometimes when we export our videos, they have artifacts because they don't encode properly. So just watch out for those and re-export your video if necessary. And once that's done, focus on your metadata. Take note of all the timestamps for your chapters, write your video description, and add all the links you want to share with your audience. And finally, publish your content or schedule it for later. There's really not much else you need to do except maybe test thumbnails and titles, but that's really up to you and your existing workflows and content strategy. And again, this is just a process for repurposing blog content into YouTube videos. So if for whatever reason you feel like something isn't ideal or could be improved, feel free to change it to fit your workflow. There are tons of different ways to do this, so do what's best for you and your team. Now, if you want to do the opposite and repurpose your YouTube videos into blog posts, watch this video right here, because we walk you through the process we use to repurpose our content in minutes. Alright, see you in the next one.